Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's Off-Road Update. After 4 rounds of the 2025 GNCC season, the youth ranks had been dominated by one rider, Travis Lentz. After a strong ending to 2024, it was clear why the Illinois rider was the preseason favorite to take the youth crown in 2025. At the end of the 5th round, the old grade GNCC in Monterey, Tennessee, it was more of the same. When the YXC1 riders rocketed off the line for their 8 a.m. 90-minute race, it was youth national points leader Travis Lentz grabbing the whole shot on his gas ahead of the rest of the field. He would be followed by KTM riders Lucas Skelton and Lucas Grounds. Camden Kraus and Grant Meacham were in tow. Nearing the end of the opening lap, and Lentz had already pulled out a lead on the riders behind. Kraus, after a rough round 4, slotted into second in the early going. The battle for third raged on between Meacham and Husqvarna mounted Cooper Duff. Fifth was held by Tristan Walker, with Nash Pearson in tow. On the rear wheel, however, was early YXC2 leader Hayden Dupuis, already cutting into the time adjustment from YXC1 starting ahead. A mile and a half into lap 2, and Lentz still led the way with a near 20-second gap. Cooper Duff, after a mid-pack start, had moved past Kraus to take over second. Meacham had also made his way past Kraus to take over third, dropping the 114 to fourth. Not far behind, though, was new YXC2 leader Ace Tokar, with Dupuis hounding his rear wheel. Those two had traded off wins in the first part of the season. Pearson would follow, rounding out the top 5 in YXC1. Nearing the end of the second lap, and Lentz still controlled the race out front, with Duff still in spot number 2. Kraus came through back up to third with Tokar on the KTM's back wheel in fourth, while still leading the YXC2 class. Pearson would move up to fourth in YXC1 at the expense of Meacham, while Dupuis followed, still running second in YXC2. Meacham, after recovering from his mid-lap misfortune, came through in fifth in YXC1. At the start of lap 3, Lentz had already gone by our cameras, still with a 16-second advantage. Duff was still on the charge in second, while Tokar checked in third physically on track. Pearson, meanwhile, had moved past Kraus to take over fourth, as Kraus rounded out the top 5. Where was Dupuis? A collision with a tree in the final 30 seconds of the previous lap left the Canadian rider with a broken femur. He was transported to a local hospital with no further injuries. He will be out until after summer break. At the end of lap 3, and Lentz still ran in the number 1 spot, with Tokar moving past Duff to take over second physically on track. The YXC2 leader was only 6 seconds behind on time adjustment over Lentz. Duff came through in third, while Pearson ran fourth, and Kraus was fifth. Midway through lap 5, and the running order was still Lentz, Tokar, and Duff in the top 3, well spaced out along the technical Tennessee track. Pearson still held the 4th spot, while climbing back up into the top 5 after a rough couple laps was Grant Meacham. Kraus, meanwhile, had problems and dropped out of the top 5 leaderboard. Cooper Duff, meanwhile, would not complete the 6th lap, as a crash ripped off his front fender, and after trying to soldier on, was forced to withdraw from the action. A mile into the final lap, and Lentz was long gone, holding a near 4-minute lead over the rest of the youth field. Tokar, still leading YXC2, ran second physically with nearly a minute lead of his own. Bentley Saxon, after the misfortunes of Dupuis, was into second spot in the YXC2 class and was third physically on track. Nash Pearson, after a hard crash at Camp Coker, was looking for a solid rebound performance, running 4th on track and 2nd in YXC1. Gavin Hartwell had put in a solid second half of the race, running 3rd in YXC2 and sitting 5th physically. Skelton, after falling off the back of the front riders early, had climbed his way back into 3rd in YXC1. Meacham, meanwhile, had moved back into 4th in class, while 85 big wheel 14 to 15 liter Hunter Carey came through next. At the checkered flag, Travis Lentz came through for his 5th win in 5 races to start the year. It was a race to the end between Tokar, Pearson, and Saxon, the riders finishing in that order, taking 2nd through 4th overall, with Tokar claiming the win in YXC2. 5th overall was Lucas Skelton, also rounding out the podium in YXC1. Thank you for watching, everyone. Round 6 of the 2025 Grand National Cross Country Series takes place this weekend, May 3rd and 4th, in St. Clairsville, Ohio for the Powerline Park GNCC. I'll see you guys there.